We are also on Weibo. Please check us out for more great videos.
For this list, we're taking a look at clever details in this 2007 comedy that satirize or pay homage to other Disney classics. If you've never seen the film, keep in mind that a few spoilers lie ahead. Number 10. Giselle loses her shoe. Roles are reversed in the climax of Enchanted, where Robert takes on the role of damsel in distress, and Giselle rises up as the hero.
Oh my, this is a twist on our story. It's the brave little princess coming to the rescue. I guess that makes you the damsel in distress, huh, handsome?
On her way to rescue Robert from a fearsome dragon, Giselle removes her high heels and pulls out a sword. She's in such a rush that she leaves one of her shoes behind. This is an obvious nod to the sequence from Cinderella, in which the titular character loses her glass slipper. Things come full circle in the end when Prince Edward helps Nancy try on Giselle's forgotten shoe.
Figures.
When the shoe fits, these two realize that they'd make a perfect match, paving the way for happily ever after.
It's a perfect fit.
Number 9. Giselle goes down the rabbit hole.
And they both lived happily ever after.
When Nerissa gives her a push down a well, Giselle falls out of her animated world into a live-action reality. This sequence has more than a few things in common with Alice's trip down the rabbit hole.
And curiosity often leads to trouble.
As similar as these two scenes are, however, they're actually polar opposites if you think about it. Alice's everyday life is literally turned upside down when she lands in Wonderland. Meanwhile, Giselle goes from a fairy tale kingdom to a very real world. So it's only fitting that Alice enters Wonderland upside down, and Giselle emerges from a manhole upright.
Oh!
Number 8. Giselle's Dream Prince.
Presenting my one true love, my prince, my dream come true.
In The Little Mermaid, Ariel hits the jackpot when Flounder salvages a statue that's the spitting image of Prince Eric. Ariel practically loses herself in the sculpture's arms as she dreams about her prince. Giselle does the same thing in Enchanted, although she has to build her statue from scratch. With some help from her woodland friends, Giselle tries to bring her dream prince to life.
Just find who you love through true love's kiss.
Of course, this is also similar to another princess, who also foretells of her prince once upon a dream. Aurora also gets help from animal friends to recreate his appearance, though little did they know they'd stolen from the real thing.
Why, it's my dream prince.
Number 7. Giselle's animal friends. Like Snow White, Cinderella, and other Disney princesses, Giselle shares a natural connection with animals. Instead of cuddly rabbits and chipmunks, however, she attracts New York's rats, pigeons, and insects once she gets to the real world. While that takes away from the magic a little, Giselle and her new friends still come together to clean the apartment in typical whimsical fashion.
You can do a lot when you've got such a happy working tune to hum.
A sequence like this wouldn't be complete without a happy working song in the spirit of Whistle While You Work.
So hum a merry tune. It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the pace.
Giselle's tune also borrows a few notes from Sing Sweet Nightingale as bubbles show off her reflection.
We'll keep singing without fail, otherwise we'd spoil it.
Number 6. Queen Nerissa's appearance. Voiced by a deliciously evil-sounding Susan Sarandon, Queen Nerissa is Edward's wicked stepmother.
Edward?
Mother?
Edward!
Two characters that largely inspired this villainess are the evil queen from Snow White and Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty.
How quaint.
In the same vein as her predecessors, Nerissa drapes herself in dark colors, maintains a devilishly elegant demeanor, and is no stranger to the black arts. Taking a page from the Queen, she disguises herself as an old hag to trick Giselle into eating a poison apple. Then when true love's kiss prevails, she takes on the form of a dragon like Maleficent. And just like the Queen and Maleficent, Nerissa's evil deeds inevitably catch up to her. Number 5. Mary Poppins references. In addition to animated features, Enchanted also has a few nods to Disney's most cherished live-action film, Mary Poppins.
Sam, please don't tell me Mrs. Banks is already here.
Mrs. Banks is already here.
Great.
Yeah, along with Mr. Banks and his lawyer.
For example, Robert is working on a divorce case involving Mr. and Mrs. Banks, who share the same surname as the family in need of a magical nanny.
Hurry, Nanny, many thanks sincerely. Jane and Michael, thanks.
In the park, Giselle cross paths with a lady who asks if she wants to feed the birds, which is one of the most memorable songs in Mary Poppins.
Feed the birds, tuppence a bag.
Speaking of musical numbers, the elderly male dancers in That's How You Know were also the chimney sweeps who taught us how to step in time. Could this Easter egg possibly be any more adorable?
That's how you know. That's how you know he's love. See?
Oh, I've seen quite enough. Let's go.
Number 4. Ballroom Scene. A key moment in any Disney fairy tale centers on our love interests coming together and sharing a dance. While this scene features an original song from Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz, it references several other Disney films. Robert and Giselle's waltz is reminiscent of Cinderella's first dance with Prince Charming at the ball. Aurora and Philip's happily ever after in Sleeping Beauty also comes to mind. On a visual level, the scene probably has the most in common with the ballroom sequence from Beauty and the Beast, especially when we get a good shot of that chandelier. As much as the scene borrows, though, it still stands on its own as a genuinely romantic moment. Number 3. The television. Mistaking a television for a magic mirror, Edward channel surfs through a tidal wave of Easter eggs.
Wait, sir. Go back, go back.
Pink elephants on parade from Dumbo can briefly be heard. And a clip from Fun and Fancy Free also pops up.
I don't like them sad endings.
The most ingenious reference comes in the form of a soap opera, starring Paige O'Hara, the voice of Belle.
How could I love a man who doesn't even like himself?
O'Hara plays a character named Angela, a nod to Mrs. Potts herself, Angela Lansbury. The man she's arguing with is named Jerry, which references Jerry Orbach, who voiced Lumiere. Plus, the background music sounds an awful lot like the main theme from Beauty and the Beast, doesn't it?
I've always been in love with you.
Don't you have any self-respect?
I don't need self-respect.
Number 2. Voice actors cameos. O'Hara isn't the only Disney legend to make a cameo here. Julie Andrews, who scored a Best Actress Oscar for playing Mary Poppins, provides the opening narration.
Once upon a time, in a magical kingdom known as Andalasia,
Edward runs into Judy Kuhn, who lent her singing voice to Pocahontas.
You're too late.
My apologies.
Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel, plays Robert's secretary.
Oh, that's right. None of that crazy romantic stuff for you, huh?
If you listen closely enough, part of your world can even be heard in his office.
Yes. Here we go.
There's also a news reporter named Mary Eileen Caselotti, a reference to Mary Costa, Eileen Woods, and Adriana Caselotti, who voiced Aurora, Cinderella, and Snow White, respectively. As if uniting our favorite Disney princesses wasn't cool enough, the film also stars Idina Menzel, who would go on to voice Elsa in Frozen.
Let it go, when I rise like the break of dawn.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Nobody stabs my bus. I'll tear you apart. Do you hear me? You get down here right now.
It's a beautiful night, and we call it a bella notte.
Hey, girlfriend.
Hi, Nancy.
What do you say? You ready to kick it?
Kick what?
The Mademoiselles Drizella and Anastasia Tremaine, daughters of Lady Tremaine.
Number 1. The Troll's appearance. At first, the troll who attacks Giselle might look like a generic green beast. Anyone who pays close attention, however, will find a plethora of Easter eggs hidden here. The troll's ensemble is comprised of pieces of dresses worn by Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, and Belle, not to mention Ariel's seashells. Does that mean he ate these 5 princesses and Giselle was next on the menu? Not necessarily. It's worth noting that the princesses all wore these outfits towards the beginning of their adventures. Once they lived happily ever after, they upgraded to fancier attire. So maybe the troll raided their old wardrobe. In any case, one thing's for sure. The troll's holler sounds just like Goofy's.
Uh-oh.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.